My name is Dr. Jones, and I coach thousands of individuals on their GLP-1 journeys in order to achieve lasting weight loss and establish medication independence. I work side by side with my medical practitioners. In this clip, I want to show you a recent success story of one of our patients. She had lost over 50 pounds, and one of the perks of one of my coaching tiers is every single month we get to get together on a very intimate setting and establish where we're at, where we're headed towards. And this is a really cool opportunity for you guys to get a vision of what it's like to work with me in this setting. Enjoy.
Okay. How are you?
Having a problem getting off mute. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm doing
Perfect.
well.
Looks like, oh, your husband's with us.
He is.
Fantastic.
This is actually my second time through. So I actually did the program last year in April 2023. So this is my second time.
Awesome. So you did see that clunky welcome packet back in the day.
I did. Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it was much better than first time around. So that was good.
Cool. Fantastic. So just to save you as much time, we could just dive in, and then obviously you can hang out and relearn as much as you want. But do you have any specific questions since this is your second time through?
Other than to let people know why it's my second time through, it's not because the program did anything to fail me. I had a ridiculous work situation that occurred this year. I had deaths in the family. I had jump into menopause. And so all kinds of things have like just changed in my world. And I lost sight of kind of my life changes that I had made. So it's 100% on me, just to let everybody know that the program did not fail me. I failed the program. I had huge success the first time around. I lost over 50 pounds in my first time around. And for the first time, felt really comfortable in my skin and just loved everything. And I've put on about 20 pounds with just, again, not exercising, not eating the right things, not doing all those things. But I struggle with neuropathy. I was diagnosed when I was 15 with neuropathy. When you avoid processed foods and sugars and potato chips and rice and any of those things that are not part of the program, makes a huge difference, both from a neuropathy as well as like hot flashes. It's amazing what happens when you stick to the program as it's designed, as what it can do for you.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, as soon as you have a chocolate chip cookie, right? Everything, it just kicks in 100%. The inflammation, the hot flash, everything. I honestly could write my own book, Dr. Jones, on your behalf, because it's just been life-changing with respect to what I have found out about my own body and what happens when I do right things and wrong things. My brain acuity on day 3 of fasting is amazing. You guys, you'll be shocked at what you'll be able to do just even from your brain capacity once you get into a third day of fasting.
Yeah, thank you, Rhonda. Yeah, the when your body's in ketosis and you're burning those ketone bodies and you're burning your fat, it's freaking amazing. And the interesting thing is, I would imagine your body has some sensitivities that are why you were sensitive to some of the things afterwards. Just so the rest of you guys know, that's the cool thing about the FLOA protocol is for almost everybody, there are certain people with certain autoimmune conditions and certain inflammatory based constraints with their body where you're always like a person that has celiac disease is just, you're never going to be able to have gluten. Like that's just a reality. But outside of situations like that, mostly in the autoimmune category, we can get you guys to the point where not only are you healthy, maintaining your weight, and on a much lower dose or completely off, but able to actually have some room for some of that stuff. And we'll see. We're going to work with your body. We're going to see. The biggest thing that we're doing is we're massively improving insulin resistance, right? Becoming more insulin sensitive again and reducing inflammation, which does give your body just so much more control. It gives your body so much more stability to have some more wiggle room, which I do pride myself in because I think that's more sustainable, is saying that you don't have to adhere to the world's most perfect diet. Some people do. We'll see what happens, but maybe we can get your body stable and have it a little bit more wiggle room if we can go a little bit longer. So we'll see, because obviously the stress and all that definitely throws you off. But thank you for sharing that. With that being said, last couple of weeks, do you happen to know how many calories you've been intaking?
I'm staying below anywhere between 1,200 and 1,400 a day.
Okay. And for how long have you been eating about 12 to 1,400 a day?
Probably at least 2 weeks.
Okay. And that was about 2 weeks ago is when you decided to reduce your intake?
Yes.
Yep. So obviously you saw the onboarding course and you went through the videos. So I wouldn't say we need to do a reset, but I do want your calories to go back up. Instead of daily restricting your calories, we'll get you back closer to somewhere around 1,800 we're going to start increasing the fasting window. So in the last 2 weeks, have you been already doing a long fast?
No, I just got up to probably about 36 hours. I'm hoping this week. I started last night. My last meal was yesterday at noon, and I'm hoping to make it through at least Wednesday at noon. I'm going to
Fantastic.
try to
Fantastic.
get up to that 3 days.
So Ceci, let's see how her body does, assuming she doesn't need to do a reset. We'll just test it out, but really make sure you get those calories up, right? Because
Okay.
1200 with a long fast, you'll plateau really quickly. So let's
Okay.
make sure we get those calories up to about 1800, and then let's keep increasing the fast till we get to 48. And then if your body responds really well, then good. We don't need to do a reset. I see got a family history of diabetes, so you want to prevent that, get our body feeling better. You've not used GLP-1s yet, and you've done keto on and off. You've previously lost weight with keto in the past. So basically, keto works, but it's just not sustainable. Yeah, and that 100%. It's keto is really hard to adhere to. Feel very confident that I can get you to the point where you won't have to do keto now. But you saw that it worked, so we are going to start there, and then we'll transition into carbs. If you had to guess, how many calories do you think you're averaging?
I tell you, it's really hard to count calories. I don't know how to really measure a piece of meat. I don't have any kind of scale or anything. But
Yeah.
from what I could see, it's probably like between 15 and 2,000 any
Okay.
given day. Some days are lighter than others. So
Counting calories is definitely something that's also just as unsustainable as a ketogenic diet. And I'm tracking with that 100%. Remember the video on the calorie counting consciousness and the calorie counting experiment? It's something that I want you to do for a couple weeks with a fine tooth comb, just to be able to have that intuition in the future. Since you're not sure, let's start counting your calories just for 2 or 3 weeks, just so we can calibrate. And we'll also start you off at 1800. And then very similar to as well, I don't know if she needs the reset. We're going to assume not. And then we're going to base the decision off of how her body does. And then 2 weeks later, you can jump in there and see if she's losing. And if she's losing, then we're fine. Both of you guys in that same boat where we'll start counting around 1800, roll with the protocol, and then we'll let your body tell us if we need to do anything different. After 2 or 3 weeks, you can stop. And then we can focus on just estimating afterwards. Okay, cool. How are you?
Yes. Good. How are you?
Good. So we have Hashimoto's. Are you familiar with low dose naltrexone? Okay. Are you already on it or no?
I am not. I do think it would help me though.
Yeah. It's a very powerful medication for anybody with an autoimmune disease or an inflammatory condition of some sort. LDN's like a superpower horse. It's very safe, very well tolerated. Not something for life per se or anything like that, but at least during your weight loss journey, it helps mitigate the impact that Hashimoto's or any other autoimmune disease has. So you get the free management during my coaching program, and then if you decide to keep it, it's a small fee afterwards. But when you talk to our medical team, let them know that you're interested in the LDN.
Okay. I'll do
All
that.
right. Fantastic.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful because I do battle with inflammation constantly. And I try to avoid gluten and dairy as much as possible. I had testing done to make sure gluten doesn't change my thyroid numbers. It doesn't, but it's the way that I feel. I don't feel good when I eat it. It's hard because my husband's Italian. But I really do try to avoid it, but I am achy and I do have neuropathy, feel her pain when it comes to that. It's hard to exercise and feel like you have a lot of energy when you have all these things going on.
I think you're also going to be in the bucket with where you're going to be more sensitive to the food for sure. A little bit less wiggle room. Sounds like you're already aware of that. But the fasting and everything else is going to really magnify the results. Okay. So how many calories do you think you average per week?
Tomorrow, I'm actually going to start counting because I watched the video where it says you should do it for a few weeks just to make sure you know what you're taking in. I don't feel that I overeat. I feel though with Hashimoto's, I can tell you, I have a daughter with a medical condition, and if it's a rare autoimmune for her. If she flares, when I go to the doctor, it'll even show that I have kidney disease. And then a month later, my numbers are normal. That is how sensitive my body is right now I think I'm just like, I have adrenal fatigue and my cortisol level is always high. So sometimes I feel like I undereat because I am on tirzepatide. I was the one who had to take a break because we got a parasite in Mexico and that whole thing. But I started it again I did want to talk a little bit about peptides at some
In most cases, yes, but you're also not on a massive dose yet. And so rather than relying on the dose, you saw in my supplement section, there's some actually sugar. Yeah, get some of those sugar handling supplements. Yeah, there's glutamine, and I just updated, I think it's called Diambol, which is a nice sugar handling supplement. So definitely add those two. That'll help with the sugar cravings.
questions with supplements in terms of because I take things like magnesium glycinate and iron and vitamin D, and I know you can't take certain things at the same time, or there's better times. If we add supplements, would it be the hotline number that we call to ask when we should incorporate that into our day, or how does that
The
work?
hotline would be the hotline, or the community would be both. The community on Facebook and the hotline are resources for you guys. The community is probably faster. The hotline, though, is like your private dedicated. So if it's like a private thing, one-on-one, then you have the access to the hotline too as well.
Okay.
Cool. And so then going back to calories, how many do you think you're, do you think you're
When I got diagnosed with I got diagnosed first with low thyroid. I was counting calories, and to lose weight, I had to be like below 1,500. I felt like if I went over 1,800, I was gaining weight. That's what brought me into the doctor to begin with, because I felt like I couldn't eat like a whole lot and I was gaining weight. I want to measure, I would say 1,800, but sometimes the kids, I don't have time, and then I'm just picking on what they're eating, and that's not the best for me. So it could go up to 2,000 or 2,100.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think 1,800, 1,900 is probably a good range for you. No, it doesn't sound like we need to reset. It just sounds like we need to get into the protocol and increase our fasting window. So yeah, I think you're good. No reset needed. And then we'll see how your results come, especially as you start with the amount of autoimmune inflammatory stuff you have. The LDN, I would also get adaptocrin. So that adaptocrin is the stress product that I recommend. This is all in that online course you guys have access to. And then the curcumin and resveratrol, if you aren't already, those are very powerful anti-inflammatory supplements. I think you're going to need all these. You're going to need as much help as we can get to help the body support the inflammation right now. So I think those two that'll be a good start among everything else we're talking about. Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let's see. Rhonda, for you as well, some of the similar products that we were just talking about, the adaptocrin, maybe not the LDN, but I think the adaptocrin and the curcumin and resveratrol.
Okay.
Rhonda, besides the neuropathy, you don't have an autoimmune disease or you do have an autoimmune. Okay, that's what I thought. All right. Fantastic. All right. Hello.
Hi.
So you are type 1 diabetic. Okay.
Right.
What would you say your primary goal is that you are looking to accomplish? Because type 1 is always just a different beast, right? It's goals change and everything. So what are you looking to accomplish?
Well, my endo had put me on Ozempic. I don't know, I can't even think of when I exactly started. It was probably about 8 months. My blood sugars were in such better shape. I wasn't bottoming out or going higher. I had started the Ideal Protein diet. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I had done that. I had lost weight prior to starting. I maybe lost 10 pounds at the end on the Ozempic. But as soon as I went off it, within like 2 to 3 months, I started gain 10 pounds. I'd like to get rid of that and then be able to maintain, because I think coming off of it I just stopped because my insurance wouldn't cover it any longer. So that's pretty much my goal. I felt the best ever.
When you were on it, you're always going to need insulin because your body's not making it. But being on a GLP-1 with type 1 can help your body essentially utilize the insulin that you're injecting. That you don't have to. You notice you probably didn't have to inject as much. I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. So I think with this protocol, definitely just be very careful with the long fasting. In fact, we're not going to, for you, go as deep. But okay. I think still, like, intermittent fasting is probably where you would start. And the intermittent, you guys saw the video on the fasting. So the stage 1 is that intermittent. That's where I would say focus on and get really comfortable, get really stable. And then maybe if you want to experiment with some slight increased windows, but I probably wouldn't go past that. at least without your current diabetes provider. Are you working with an endo or a PCP, or
I am with an endo.
making sure that they're aware? Did you let your endo know that you're getting the Ozempic from them, I'm guessing?
I was, and now my insurance won't cover it any longer.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you still have a relationship with your endo though, even though insurance isn't covering?
I do. The insurance covers her. It's just
Her time.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Did you let her know that you're going to be starting it from somewhere else?
I did not. She had told me when I could no longer get it, she said, try to find a trial where you can get it so you can continue.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, just because you're type 1, I just want them to know. So yeah, let them know that you're starting, that I'm advising intermittent fasting only for now, getting stable and really just getting stable. And then before you start any longer fasting, I would just want your endo to be comfortable with that. I honestly think with just you doing the intermittent fasting and making some of these dietary changes, you probably will start dropping fat. We'll see how that's going. And then Ceci looks.
Yeah, she's the last one, Miss Kim.
Okay, perfect. You got the gist of the protocol with the exception of Kim. We're getting through a reset if we're in a reset, but I actually don't think any of you guys are in a reset. So you guys are ready to just roll in. You watch the video on the fasting, so you understand getting through that, getting to that long stage of fasting is the most important thing. So starting with the fasting, any questions that you guys have? You watch the video, so you got a good understanding of it. Any questions you have about getting to that flow stage? Or does it make sense? Oh, it's okay.
In the videos, I saw that you mentioned some people move faster, some people move slower. It's very individual. You have to see how you feel. So would we be starting if we're not consistent with intermittent fasting, is that where we would start then?
Yeah. Intermittent fasting is that stage 1, right? So personality wise, if you want to jump to 24-hour, you can do that too. But I do remember in your case, my recommendation would be to, not saying you have to go super slow, but I do imagine your body's going to be a little bumpier for sure. Just based off what you told me. So
yeah, for
probably,
sure. I'm
yes. So probably start intermittent for the first week and just feel like, oh, okay, that was easy. Let us know. If intermittent was challenging, then give it one more week. Okay. What's going to help your body adapt is when you saw the video on the food side, the more keto you go, the faster your body will adapt to the fasting. Now, some programs, because they're not doing the AOD or the other peptides, they make you go keto for a while before you go into fasting. AOD really does help bridge the gap so that you can speed things up. So yeah, I think in your case, try 1 week of just intermittent. And if you feel good, go ahead and move on to the next stage, which is the 24 hours.
Okay.
Fantastic. Any other fasting questions, guys?
I do have coffee in the morning, and I recently found out that when I was putting in my coffee sugar-free was spiking my sugar a lot. What is acceptable in my coffee? I heard you say fat, but I just didn't think that was a fasting thing.
That reminds me, Ceci, I should probably put a little coffee video in that course. Shoot me an email because I'll put Dr. Jones's favorite coffee morning ritual. It'd be nice to put on that course because I'm a big coffee person too. I just love the flavor. The goal is going to be, though, if you didn't have coffee, that you'd be fine. So that's the goal. If you find out like you just go quote unquote without the coffee, that means your body's we got some work to do. So if I didn't have coffee, I would miss the flavor, but I'd be fine. But that's because of where my body's at. So that's going to be a good test for you in the future. But right now, with the coffee, you can have my favorite sweeteners, stevia, monk fruit, or allulose, right? And then nut pods creamer. You could technically use heavy whipping cream too. So you're right. You could have fat in your fast, but the more fat you have in the fast, then the more keto it is and the less fasting it is, right?
If you are enjoying watching these clips from my coaching calls and my community, guys, I have thousands of like-minded individuals who are kicking ass. Click that link, I'll put it in the description of the video, where you can set up a free consultation to discuss exactly how my individuals are achieving lasting weight loss utilizing microdosing and intermittent use protocols. Now, back to the video.
But truthfully, you want to go as 0 calorie as you can. But I am saying that there is a little bit of room for fat. If you are going to have something, it would be fat from the nut pods creamer. It would be fat from your fish oil, right? And if you ever are just struggling with the fast and you do need to eat something, you could eat a fat bomb, which is like 150 calories, 200 calories of any fat, right? So there's things you can do to help you. There's supplements as well, but basically fat only and try to keep it as low as calories as possible.
Okay.
Fantastic. Any other implementation of fasting questions? Okay, cool. So the food, you guys saw everything about the food. That's obviously the next thing to think about when you're not implementing fasting is the food part. You saw the part about breaking the fast with easier to digest foods, digestive enzymes when you are. We pretty much at this point upgraded the protocol now to, at this point, digestive enzymes. I think everybody on a GLP-1 would benefit from being on a digestive enzyme product. So that's why it's there in the it's part of the essential link now, if you saw that, for the supplements. And so the big thing to think with when you're following the rules, which is anti-processed food diet, is modify it to go keto, as you saw and read, and then consuming enough protein. So the formula that we talked about was 1 gram per pound of target body weight, between that and current body weight. But other than that's it. The diet is pretty much straightforward as far as how you saw in the video, with the exception of breaking a long fast.
Diet Coke is a no.
It's all
I know
about,
it's terrible for you.
it's all about context, right? So if you were drinking regular Coke and you were started replacing it with Diet Coke, I would take that. I don't think Diet Coke is as bad as, or diet soda, as bad as many people want to make it out to be. Is it ideal? For sure. No, it's not. But if I'm being honest, I tried those Zevia sodas and I can't with a straight face tell somebody, yeah, just drink the Zevia soda. I have a couple diet sodas myself per week. Now, I think it's more of a concern if I've seen patients where they're having several cans a day. That would be a bigger concern. But if it's a couple times a week and it's a treat for you, honestly, there are bigger fish to fry right now.
Okay.
Yeah, those Zevia sodas.
Terrible.
Oh, they're terrible. And I'm just like, I would honestly, if you're looking for a sweeter beverage and it's not going to be a diet soda, obviously, making your own lemonade with monk fruit is actually pretty dang good. And tastes like real lemonade because it's just lemon water and a sweetener. That's pretty awesome to give you like a sweet thing to drink. So lemonade's awesome. And then of course, obviously lemon's great for you. Cool. Any other food fasting questions, guys? I don't care if you take mine or not, but you have the link there on the course for any product that you want to just get from us. And then you had all your situational supplements there from the course too. So any supplement, the essential, I called that essential as you saw in the video, because those are the ones that everybody should be on. And then every other one was situational. I've already made a couple of you guys some recommendations from just what you told me. The curcumin and resveratrol are very important for anti-inflammation, especially if you're autoimmune. Everybody can benefit from some of the curcumin and resveratrol, but I just try not to overwhelm you with this long list of everything you need to buy. So fiber is a big one. If you're not getting 20, 30 different fruits and vegetables, that's my favorite fiber product, was on that list too as well.
Okay. And have you run into any problems with anybody when you have autoimmune? You probably have leaky gut. So
Yeah.
have you run into anybody with these kinds of issues having issues taking an abundance of supplements? Because it can
Sometimes anybody can get a little bit of nauseous when you're taking supplements on a fast, guys. That's if you are finding that you're getting nauseous, taking your supplements on an empty stomach, spread them out a little bit. Eventually your body adapts. If you need to do something substance-wise, soaked chia seeds is definitely something that you can do to give you some substance as you get more acclimated to eventually being able to just take them without the soaked chia seeds. Soaked chia seeds can definitely help to bridge the gap. But other than a little bit of nausea, that's how you would approach it. Just take your time and adapt to it, and then eventually you'll be fine. I haven't had anybody that hasn't eventually been able to get their supplements in on an empty stomach. So,
okay,
just takes time. For some people, it could take some time.
Yeah, I asked because a while ago, and it could be different for me now, but I was seeing a functional, but he had me taking 30 things a day, and I ended up in the emergency room. So that's why I asked. I think it just became toxic for me. It was too much.
It is, and that's another reason why, yeah, I get it. That's my background too. So it works. The stuff works, but it only works if you can get it all down. If you get it all down. So definitely increasing your list of supplements too as you get more, because the GLP-1 changes things, that slows things down, and then also fasting. Some of those essential things you could also add them later too as well. But yeah, gut health is definitely something for you to keep your attention on. That's always going to benefit you. So I think the digestive enzymes are going to be important. Another one I would consider for you would be the Repair Bite. It's like part of that gut healing. That's one of the main gut healing supplements that I have there. Cool. And then finally, guys, the weight training. Solid. Is anybody not doing a weight training program like you saw in that video?
I'm starting tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done it off and on when I've had really bad nerve pain. I just wasn't able to. I was going to ask, I'm glad you brought that up. Is there, if we want to do this from home, which I know might not be ideal for a lot of people, but if we wanted to do it from home, are there any videos that you would recommend or no?
Truthfully, you go to YouTube and just type in at home resistance training and you will get a lot. It'll be a little tough, but it'll be a great start. And in the beginning, if you're fresh and you haven't done it in a while, anything you do is going to be beneficial. And the reason why the most optimal scenario I always say is at a gym is because you obviously have more variety, you're more structured, you're less distracted. But at the same time, though, if home is all you can do, absolutely do what you can for now. And then, yes, I would YouTube some at-home resistance training. That's what I would focus on.
We have some equipment, and my husband trains, so he is familiar with you having the right form and things like that, because I would know nothing.
Yeah.
So he can help me. I just didn't know if there was like a better video, because I forgot the word you used, but you use a word.
Hypertrophy. Oh, yeah. And this is how you guys want to train. You want to train like you're trying to build muscle mass. And he'll show you that really just means taking the sets to failure and really just pushing. And some people, when they lift weights, they stop and they don't understand the concept. But no, you want to, and with good form, without hurting your joints. That's what he'll teach you. It's a mind muscle thing. You want to take that muscle to extreme failure. And it's painful, but it's just a burning that you realize over time. If I don't get that, you're not actually doing anything. Over time, you'll develop that. But yeah, you want to be in ideal scenario, 3 workouts a week, full body, if you can, is a phenomenal start, and then take it from there. Okay, cool. So I saw that you said you were not doing anything yet. Do you have a plan, or you don't know where to start? Talk to me.
The gym. But that's not, I used to do CrossFit.
Okay.
And I love that. I cried when I quit. It was financial reasons I quit. I do want to go back to doing that, but I don't know if that's something I need to do now or just waiting. I know that's stressful on your body.
Weight training is something that if you can get it into your body, you would want to do that immediately. The sooner you can start weight training, the better your body's going to respond, without a doubt. It's just a matter of being able to get it in, right? You don't have to do CrossFit. Pretty intense. And also even long-term CrossFit is actually, because we're going to be doing so much more fasting, you don't even have to worry about, because, CrossFit is, you're familiar with it. It's very intense, right? It's good though. You get some good endorphins from it. But I would even, while you're working on everything else, if you want to get CrossFit, go for it. But you can also just focus on more of hit the local gym, the machines, full body circuit, really getting a couple sets on the big muscle groups, just whatever can fit into your routine that you're more consistent with at this point.
Okay. I just have no knowledge of any of the machines, and it really gets to me. I hate it. But
what is more realistic for you, getting a trainer for 5 sessions to teach you how to be comfortable in the machines, or doing some more CrossFit?
CrossFit. Because it's in a group setting and everyone's, that's just what always has spoken to me. Yeah.
I'm okay with you starting there if that's where you want to start. I would say within a month or two, eventually you will have to learn those machines, definitely at some point. But if you feel better about starting with CrossFit to just get the ball rolling and get motion, and that seems like a bigger commitment, or a more likely you'll be able to accomplish it, because we don't want you to commit to anything that seems like not realistic. So start there, and then down the line we can switch over to some more of that kind of machine style hypertrophy training. Cool. Did you say where are you at with the training?
So I'm at the same place. My life right now, from a work perspective, does not allow me to go to a gym. I'm tied to my machine just a little bit too much. What we've done in the past is, even pre-COVID, we were members at 9 Round. I don't know if you're familiar with 9 Round. So it's not quite. So it's not quite CrossFit. What it is, it's basically like a 33-minute thing. So you go and you do an exercise for 3 minutes. Like you do a punching bag, or you do kicks up against the weight bag. You do that for 3 minutes, and then for 30 seconds you do jumping jacks, and it's the same kind of thing. So there's 9 rounds, right, that you go to.
Okay.
and you do it for 3 minutes and then you take a 30-minute to do something else. And so my husband and I did that together. And when COVID hit, we got all the equipment here so we can do that here. We do that kind of stuff. But for me, it was just the activity, right? And it's the sweating, and I do have a high stress job. So the kicking, and I will tell even my neuropathy people, right? So it hurts like hell to kick a bag when you got that sharp whatever. But the benefit of the circulation you get after you kick the heck out of a bag for 3 minutes is amazing. Like so you have the pain to get rid of the pain. And so it's one of those things I had to, because I grew up in the generation, it hurts when I do this. And the doctor would say, oh, then quit doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And really what it is, you got to do that a little bit more to keep it going. So that's where I'm at. So I just wrote down, I really need to get to the point where I'm doing the machines and that kind of stuff. So maybe it's a 4 a.m. thing when I go to the.
I would say just get started with what you're comfortable with, and then same thing. And let's say 1 month, Ceci will follow up with both of you and make sure that you're solid with what you've been doing, and see if when can we take it to the next level. Finally, Kim.
We moved to northern Wisconsin from Colorado. I used to work with a personal trainer. The closest gym here is 45 minutes away.
Woo.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you okay? And you don't have a home gym, I'm guessing.
I don't have a home gym. I have a treadmill and then just some hand weights.
So my favorite home gym, if you're looking for something affordable, relatively affordable, it's called the X3 Bar. What's nice about that is, I don't know if you travel a lot, but you can actually travel with this too. It's crazy. It's just a board with a bar and bands. And I know that sounds basic, but you can do everything on it. My dad uses it because he travels so much, but it's definitely the first thing I think of for traveling. When you're home, you have more options in the X3 Bar. But Ceci, send it to her so she can check it out. It's nice because it does both. It could be your complete home gym, no assembly required, and it's bands, but it's a different kind of technology where the bands, they're very powerful. So another option for home gyms would be the TRX bands, which is a little bit more set up and you have to assemble them. But the TRX bands could be something that also you could do at home for a cheaper price too as well. X3 is easier assembly for sure.
Okay, great. Thank you.
We're talking lower than $1,000 investment for both of these. Awesome. Any questions at all, guys, about anything?
Can I just ask, I know weight training is the goal here, but just to clarify, like I can kick a bag for sure, but when you have high stress levels and you're always peaking, you're supposed to avoid high intensity workouts, correct?
And by the way, adaptocrin would be if we didn't already mention that one, just when someone says stress or you feel stressed, adaptocrin is a phenomenal product. It is the most powerful adaptogenic product I know of.
If you guys enjoyed watching this video, and you're going to want to check this one out, I get into a deep dive over GLP-1 medications, peptides, and lasting weight loss, guys. We'll see you later.